Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're on today. This episode of As the Tarot Turns is brought to you on purpose with purpose. I am your host, Nacho Mama. Some people call me Crystal, some people call me Criddle, like Riddle with the C. Either way, Nacho Mama is a personality, not a person. Today we're going to find out why'd they do it, Virgo. Why'd they do it for the Virgo tribe? Whatever the why did they do that question comes to mind, we're going to get some sort of answers from the universe here. See what the cards have to say about why they did it. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you so feel inclined. And most importantly, drop down and say hello. Hello, hi, howdy, how's it going? So Virgo, why'd they do it, Virgo? I noticed that I've been asking a lot of general questions, just whatever spirit has for each sign individually. So I figured I would ask some more specific questions. And today's question is, why'd they do it, Virgo? Why'd they do it? Let's see what sort of answers the cards have for the Tarot Collective, for the Virgo Collective. Let's see what the cards say about why they did it, Virgo. Spirit, Source, Universe, please use me as a conduit to express the best message for Virgos that want to know why they did it. Whatever it is, why'd they do it? Worried. You have worry? What were they worried about? Why'd they do it? Worried about sleep, huh? Worried about rest? Worried about putting it to rest? Worried about holding on, holding on, collecting. Maybe they're hoarding all this worry. They did it because they're worried about rest. About having too much, about holding on to too much, about keeping too much, about conflict, struggle. They're worried about not being able to rest. They're worried about not having enough. So they're in this, like, I gotta keep it. It's like this survival mode of, like when you have a stray dog that eats his whole entire plate because he doesn't know when his next one's gonna come. So I think that that's like this feeling of it's like the type of energy that I get from this is like a stray dog that is going to eat his entire plate because he doesn't know when he's going to get the next meal, And they're worried about the conflict. It's like there's a lot of worry about not having enough. They're worried about not having enough. So they're hoarding. They're hoarding on to things. They're hoarding on to emotions. They're hoarding on to whatever sort of conflict this is caused. It's like it's causing struggle. They're worried about the struggle. They're worried that they're not going to have enough. They're worried that they're not going to be able to rest enough. There's not enough rest. There's not enough sleep. There's not enough. There's not enough. They're worried that there's not enough. They don't know that everything that they need will be provided to them. They're worried about somebody giving to them, or maybe they're worried about giving too much. But they're definitely holding on to something. They're definitely holding on to either a point of view. We have holding and obstinate. So it's like, it's got to be this way. It's got to be this way. Like, they don't see any other way to think about it. They don't see any other way to see it. Like, all they see is that there's not enough. So they're like in this survival mode. I just get this survival mode. And they're very dependent on this type of being, on this way of thinking, on this way of holding and hoarding and keeping, because they don't know when the next is going to be, It's like clamping so tightly onto whatever this is, you know, and worrying about it. Maybe they're clamping holding on to the worry about not having enough. I just keep getting this not having enough. And they struggle and lack with compassion. Like there's a lack of compassion. Maybe they don't feel like they have enough compassion. You know, there's a difference between empathy and sympathy. Like empathy is when you're like, oh man, I really could understand. I could relate of how it would feel to be in that person's shoes. You know, like you can really feel how it would feel to be in a situation that somebody else is in. And sympathy is like, oh, I'm so sorry for you, you know, like but I wouldn't want to be you. I can't put myself in your shoes, but I definitely, like, I don't want to be there. You know, there's definitely a struggle with compassion and a worried about giving away too much, or worried about not having enough, and holding on to like this dependent energy. And they do it because they're worried. The overall energy is they do it because they worried. They did it because they're worried. But worry is completely useless most of the time. I mean, most of the times we don't even have enough data to actually worry about something. And then if we do have enough data to actually, you know, to legitimately be worried about something, then we definitely don't have enough data that worrying is going to fix anything. But worrying is at the base of the energy here. The foundation is worry. They did it because they're worried. You know, they're worried that they're not going to have enough, that there isn't enough. You know, wasteful. You know, worrying is definitely a wasteful energy. It takes just as much energy as it to create a solution as it does to create problems for the solution. We have people that create problems for every solution, and we have people that create solutions for every problem. You know, and worrying is definitely not a solution to any problem. But they feel like there's a lack of structure, a lack of balance, a lack of there being enough. It's like the survival mode. You know, I just keep getting this image of a stray dog that, you know, eats as much as he can when he's presented. He eats at that opportunity because he doesn't know when the next opportunity is going to be. And I feel like there's this type of frantic hoarding of not feeling like there's enough. They just don't feel like there's enough, and they're worried about not being enough or not having enough. Yeah, they're very up in their head about it. But I believe that most of the worry is in their head, you know? Everything that we need will always be provided for us one way or the other. And I don't think that this person understands that. I don't think that they honestly know that. So they did it because they're worried, Virgo. They did it because they're worried. They're worried that there's not going to be enough. They're worried that there's not going to, you know, they're holding on to and hoarding the idea that they have to hold on and hoard to things because there's not going to be enough. So they did it because they're worried, Virgo. I love you guys. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you so feel inclined. And those were your quick, why'd they do it messages. And until next time, Nacho Mama out. Vroom, beep, beep.